Callum, we need a chatbot for our customers. Here at the biggest tool, we are being outsold by our biggest competitor, Hammer Time. I don't have any budget to put new data scientists on this, so I need you to step up and create a chatbot. We will need it to have all of our internal proprietary information. If you manage to get this done, I will award you with our prestigious Biggest Tool of the Month award.
Wow, Libby, that is such an honor. The Biggest Tool award. I think I was born for it. I don't have a lot of experience with building chatbots, but the DataRobot rep showed me recently how to do that in DataRobot, and I'd love to try. So I have our proprietary information that you mentioned here, and with that information, this proprietary hardware information, I'm going to go and build that chatbot. I'd like to test out whether or not we even need that. So let's go ahead and create a new use case. Once I create this use case, I'm going to add some data to it. I'm going to upload a zip file of PDFs that I've already created. Now that the data is registered, I'm going to go and create a vector database such that when I'm querying an LLM, I'm going to be also querying that proprietary information as well. So here I'm being suggested an embedding model. Of course, there are a number of embedding models, and there's different chunking strategies that I can use. I'm going to leave everything as default for now and create a vector database. This is the way in which we can do this through the UI. If I wanted to use a different vector database or a specific vector database like Pinecone or Face or something else, I could use notebooks, and we have code snippets to help do that. You can see the vector database was very quick to create. Now I'm going to go into Playgrounds and create a playground. I'm going to create two blueprints. One is going to be with the vector database, and one's going to be without, just to see what the difference is. Now I can choose between any of the more popular LLMs here. I'm just going to go ahead and use 3.5 Turbo, and I'll leave all of the settings as default, but of course I could alter those if I wanted to. And in this particular blueprint, I'm going to use our vector database of proprietary information, and that information is made up of things like catalogs. So you can see I deliberately have this page open because I'm going to ask it about a product on this particular page. I have a number of different products here, and again I have it opened to this particular page because I'm going to ask it some questions. You'll see that there are a number of catalogs of differing sizes, but all of these have been zipped up, vectorized, and now I'm going to be using that in my blueprint. I can define a prompting strategy, and I can make it context aware such that when I follow on questions, it has context about my previous interactions. I'm going to tell it to answer as if you are a hardware store. Okay, let me just change the name of this and say this is my GPT 3.5 with vector. Okay, I have a vector, an LLM blueprint configured. I'm going to go ahead and create another LLM blueprint, and I could create as many as I want. I can compare 3 at a time. I'm going to leave everything the same, and I'm choosing the same LLM. This time I'm not populating the vector database just to show you what the difference is, and I'm not going to bother about giving it a system prompt. I'm going to go ahead and save this, and we know that this untitled one is without the vector database. I'm going to go ahead and select both of these LLM blueprints, and I'm going to start prompting. So the first question I'm going to ask is, what is the charging time for this particular battery? So let me go ahead and say, what is the charging time for? Now I'm expecting this to give the answer of 45 minutes, and you can see indeed because this blueprint has this vector database created very simply, but because I've uploaded these documents, it has that context and can give me that answer. I'm going to ask it another couple of questions. You can see 3.5 without the vector database doesn't do so well because it's obviously been trained on public information and not proprietary company information. While I'm here, I also might ask what the charging time of this other battery is, just to make sure that it is working. Again, we get the correct answer of 76 minutes. You can see 76 minutes here, and that's looking great. I might want to try another couple of prompts just to prove that it's working okay. This is another PDF in here, and maybe I want to know about this nail pouch. So this nail pouch, maybe I want to know what the dimensions are here. So here I'm going to say, what are the dimensions for... Okay, so it's identifying that it's a nail pouch and it's 320 by 320 by 160, which is looking great. One of the interesting things as well here is that I have two things that I want to point out. One is that I have a citation. So the citation is referencing the document that the vector database is storing. So you can see here, if I click on that, there are a number of citations, and it's giving me some context as to where it's retrieving this information from. You can see on the other side there aren't any citations because there's no vector database. The other thing, and the second thing, is that we're getting feedback from the user, so we can get positive and negative feedback for the good responses and bad responses. And of course, we're keeping an audit trail of absolutely everything when we're doing this. Hey, Libby, so I've created this vector database and this LLM blueprint, and I think it's going to be pretty good for our chatbot. So I think mission accomplished.
Thank you for making the chatbot, Callum. Given the recent negative publicity that other companies have endured because of lacking monitoring policies, I need you to make sure it's producing accurate results and not producing toxic responses, and keep an audit trail.
Yeah, understood. You got it, Libby. Understand that we need an audit trail and also some guardrails. So let's deploy this and get it safely and confidently deployed. So here I'm going to go and send this model that we've just created with the vector database to the custom model workshop. And here I've got my model within the workshop. And you can see it's just been created, and I'm going to go into it and deploy. Here what I have an opportunity to do is to choose the base environment, and the blueprint that I've created in the playground is being represented here with a number of Python files, which I actually don't need to worry about, but I can also go and change these. I'm going to put in my OpenAI API key for GPT and the API base. And then I'm going to go ahead and deploy this after I register it. I can see it's ready for deployment. So now I can go ahead and deploy this. And once it's deployed, I see it within my MLOps deployments. I choose a prediction environment, of course. And within my deployments, I will be able to set some guardrails up, some prompt guards and response guards. So we have something called custom metrics, and here I'm going to go and add a new metric from a template. And you can see that there's a number of custom metrics that we can use to measure the toxicity, to measure a number of different things. And these are just a subset of some of the response guards and prompt guards that we can add to LLMs to ensure that they're behaving correctly and in a manner that is acceptable to the business. Once I create a couple of metrics, I get to see charts on this. We can do this in a code first manner as well, and that opens up a lot of customization options. So there are, whatever your monitoring requirements are for your LLM, you'll be covered with DataRobot. So Libby, I think we're good to go.
2 weeks later.
Callum, congratulations. Our sales are up and so is our customer satisfaction. As Libby's boss, I wanted to personally give you this biggest tool of the month award.